Hi everyone, Christina here. Welcome to another card video at my YouTube channel and blog. Today I'm going to be taking part in a blog hop for Simon Says Stamps' latest release. This is one of their new stamp sets called Shine On, and I'm going to take the large star stamp from that stamp set and stamp it in 4 different colors of ink from Simon Says Stamp. This first color is called Lake Shores. It's a nice kind of medium pale blue. One thing you want to remember when you're stamping with Simon Says Stamp inks is that they will look much darker when you first stamp them as compared to after they've dried completely. They do dry back quite a bit, even out, and they become just a slightly bit more faded back. It's a really pretty effect. So you kind of have to have the color stamped somewhere so you can see a swatch of it so that you can really get a good idea of what it will look like when it's completely dry. The next color I used was Catkin, and now I'm using Hot Mama. In between all of these colors, I'm using a chamois to clean off my stamp. This is also the same chamois material that the Lawn Fawn stamp cleaner chamois is made out of. So you can definitely buy the Lawn Fawn version if you want just a small piece, or you can buy the big, huge sheet like what I have, and I just cut down my own pieces. So now I'm taking those same 4 colors and I'm using a Ranger Mini Round Blending Tool to blend on some color. This is going to give the background some color, and it's also going to help blend those colors together. It's a really fun way to use different colors of ink with one image and also have sort of a blended ombre background. It's kind of a fun way to blend these colors together. So I do have a separate blending foam for each one of these colors, and I have seen a lot of people give some different tips and ideas on how to store these blending foams, especially if you want to keep the colors separate. So if you have a dedicated foam for each color. And the way I like to do that is I just take a little bit of masking tape and I actually tape the foam piece to the bottom of the ink pad, and then I store it there while I'm not using the ink pad. And then when I come back and I want to do some ink blending, I have that foam ready to go on the bottom of the ink pad. So I am using a craft sheet for that blending that just protects my work surface. And I'm going to do some die cutting using this On Edge Love You die from Simon Says Stamp. I've cut down a piece of vellum, and I'm just using a little bit of Post-it tape to hold that die in place while I run it through my Big Shot machine. Even though I do have a magnetic platform in my Big Shot, this needed to be perfectly straight on that vellum, and so I just didn't want a chance at moving it all once I put the plates through the Big Shot machine. I'm now using my ruler and an X-Acto knife or a craft knife, and I'm just extending that cut line that was on the end of the die design so that this Love You can extend all the way across my card front. So I'm going to pull those pieces away to clean up one little edge there. And then I'm going to put that over the top of my stamped piece, and you can see how well it shows over the top of those darker colors at the bottom of the cardstock. Adding some Tombow Extreme adhesive to the very ends of this vellum strip, and then I'm going to place it over the top of my background and get it in just the right place. I'm using my Grid mat to help me with the placement, and then I used a little piece of Post-it tape to hold that in place while I fold back the edges and press the adhered part down to the cardstock. This is a great way to adhere vellum to your card without having any adhesive showing on the front of your card. I then took some white embroidery floss and just wrapped that around that strip and tied it into a bow. I'm going to take some scissors and snip off the ends of that bow just so it's the perfect length for where it's placed on the card. Now I'm almost done with the card. The last thing I need to do is put it on the card base. So I'm going to create a card base out of some Neenah Solar White cardstock. This is the 110-pound version of Solar White, and I like to use this thicker weight of cardstock on card bases. I'm now using that same adhesive that I used before. This is, once again, Tombow Extreme adhesive, and I added a bunch of adhesive on the back of my stamped piece and then adhered that down onto the card front. Now I had a little tiny strip of white over on the side that was showing, so I did use my T-square ruler and that same craft knife just to even up those edges and get a perfect edge for my card. And that's going to finish up the card for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please make sure to go over to my blog. Is a prize associated with Blog Hop today. In fact, there are prizes at every single stop on the hop. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video.